Alright, so sneak peek number 3 is here for the December update, and I've been sitting back and having a laugh at this thing for the past 2 hours and reading some of the comments that I've seen on Twitter and on the official forums for Marvel Future Fight, and I think it's quite comical. As you can see right here, this is going to be the final sneak peek before the update. And I have a lot to say, but I also find it very funny that the people who are most excited about tier 4 Jean Grey, which is exactly what is being confirmed by this sneak peek, are the same people who are probably never going to be able to use this character. Isn't that funny? So let's talk about it after we've taken a look at the trailer, because the trailer that they just dropped is not a sneak peek, it's a whole ass trailer. It's the best sneak peek they've ever done, and I don't know if they did this because they knew this was gonna be a mixed reaction from the community. People like me who can see through the facade are gonna call it for what it is, a money move, and then the sheeps are just gonna flock to the hype of, ooh, Mama Jean Grey, take my money. Listen, make no mistakes, I will get Jean Grey. I will get a tier 4. But a lot of you guys who are excited for her, you ain't never gonna see her. And that's, well, you gonna see her when you lose to her in PvP. And that's just me keeping it real with you, because Jean Grey has always been toxic for PvP. And I told you guys very early on with the introduction of tier 4 that you need to be very careful which characters you invest in, because the moment they start releasing PvP tier 4s, your life is going to be miserable, because one of the only ways you can earn crystals in this game is in timeline battle. And if you don't have the meta characters like the Adam Warlocks, the Hulks, the Carnages, the Thanos, the Gores, and now the Jean Greys, good luck getting any crystals, because you can see they don't want to add new ways into the game to earn more crystals, and they're just going to gatekeep those crystals that they haven't updated in years behind these massive power-ups that are going to take players months or hundreds of dollars to attain. Let's talk about it some more after you check out the trailer though. So where should I begin? There's so much to unpack in this trailer. It's kind of crazy. It reminds me of the Doctor Strange one that they released a couple years ago. It reminds me of the Thanos one that they did for Infinity War. This one is so well done. I really like it. We even have a little bit of voice acting in here. I'm not too sure if they took the voice samples from one of the X-Men animated series or from one of the X-Men movies, but either way, this is well done. We see Cyclops getting clapped up like the simp he is by Mama Jean Grey, and obviously at the very beginning of the trailer right here, you can see the tier 4 confirmation on this police car or taxi cab, whatever the hell it is. Point is, Jean Grey is getting tier 4, and this is not necessarily a good thing for the game, because as it stands, we only have 12 tier 4, and I'm a big spender, and even I don't have them all. Obviously, by choice, I could tier 4 Captain America if I saw the need for him. I just don't personally need him. The point is, a lot of players, they're at like 2 or 3 tier 4s, 4 maybe, 5 pushing it if you're not wailing, right? So tier 4 Jean Grey coming this early is kind of mad to me, bro. Especially when you consider we still have characters in the game that's never gotten a uniform, that's still trapped at tier 2. It's actually insane that they're dropping a tier 2 native tier 4. Keep in mind that the average tier 4 costs you about 8,000 Soul of the Faltine and about 8,000 Carbonadium. And for the majority of players, that's about a month's worth of farming. Jean Grey is a tier 2 native. So what that means is it's double cost for her. So on average, you're looking pretty close to 16,000 carbonadium and 16,000 Soul of the Faltines. I don't understand why they would be, well, I do understand. I'll tell you why, right? For the game, I don't think this is a good thing. I think Jean Grey and other tier 2 natives should be far down the pipeline when other characters have gotten their moment to shine. If we're gonna start incorporating tier 2 natives into the mix now of characters that can get tier 4, that's mad, bro. What's gonna happen when they decide, okay, you know what, Cable right after that, and then Wolverine right after that? You know what I'm saying? It's mad. It's absolutely mad because they're not incorporating new ways to earn these materials, and they're doing that on purpose because they want to monetize Carbonadium and Soul of the Faltine via these packs that they have in the shop. They want to make as much money as possible off this new power creep. And here's the thing, while you can avoid some of these tier 4s that are specifically for PvE content, when it comes to PvP, you're literally fighting for the premium currency of the game, which is crystals. So you can't really and truly avoid the meta tier 4s like the Hulks, the Carnages, and now presumably the Jean Grey, because there's never been an iteration of Jean Grey where she was not meta for PvP, and I don't see them breaking a mold. If you look at the characters that's gotten tier 4 and look at what they do, they don't normally change too much from what they initially were released as, either a PvE character or a PvP character. Tier 4 is usually an additive to what the character already was designed to do. Carnage is the exception because of his artifact allowing him to be unkillable for a couple seconds, so that allows him to step into the PvP arena. However, not too many characters that are designed for PvE often step into the realm of PvP. I say all this to say I enjoyed the idea of tier 4 only because of the fact that it gave opportunities for characters that didn't really get a run at the top to get a run at the top because they were among the very first tier 4s. Like Venom, for example. When I started playing this game, Venom was trash in 2015. He was trash in 2016, trash in 2017, trash, and more trash, right? But him being one of the very first tier 4s means he gets a big power boost over everybody else, and he gets a chance to be in the spotlight for a couple moments. Same goes for Iron Man, same goes for Hulk, same goes for Storm, Namor, etc. And I enjoyed that aspect of the tier 4 system. But if they're just gonna go back on the moneymakers who have pretty much controlled the game to some degree since its inception, I'm not on board with that. What's next? A tier 4 Thanos? Like, come on, man. Give other characters a chance to shine before you bring back these powerhouse. There's only one saving grace to this. Since Jean Grey is among the very first tier 2 natives to get a tier 4, chances are she won't remain in the meta for as long as she did when she first came out, because now they're dropping 2 tier 4s a month, one every 2 weeks. So eventually Jean Grey will get pushed out of the meta. So all of you Jean Grey fanboys that are very happy about this, I hope you are actually one of the few that's going to be able to afford Jean Grey, because otherwise she's going to torture you in PvP like she always has with some annoying mechanics on this new uniform that she's getting, and then she's going to be incredibly expensive to develop. It's crazy when I see free-to-play players who are like literally VIP 0 celebrating the return of Jean Grey, the queen of toxicity in Marvel Future Fight. And you know, it kind of sounds like I hate Jean Grey, but I really don't. I'm just a person who has every character in the game, and there's certain characters that I would like to use to clear actual content that I've never been able to use, and I'm not on this train of just building characters to look at, you know? I want to actually use them to clear content, so it would be nice if the devs would actually go back, revisit these characters, bring them to the forefront of the game, and then after that replace them with the staples, the mainstays, the Jean Greys, the Thanoses, etc. Right? Why are we gonna fall back into the same thing of buffing the same exact characters over and over and over again? We've been there, done that. That's how Captain America ended up with 12 uniforms. That's how Iron Man ended up with 12 uniforms. And to some extent, the MCU is to be blamed because they do MCU updates. So I'm gonna give them some leeway in that respect. But my point is, they need to stop this before it gets out of control. Either that, or they need to implement new ways to earn more Carbonadium, more Life Seed, more Soul of the Faltines, because this is some BS. You know exactly what this is, guys. This is not fan service. If you're blind and you believe that they're just doing this because they know players love Jean Grey, you are truly truly delusional, okay? You are truly missing some screws up there. You are truly not well. This is something that was orchestrated months ago. They understand that Black Friday is going to be a boom. They're gonna make so much money. Players are gonna spend thousands, but they don't want to go from making thousands in November to making peanuts in December. No, 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 right? Because they know you have gifts to buy for your friends and family. So what do they decide to do? Let's bring back an old familiar face that is as toxic as can be into PvP to force the hands of Marvel Future fighters so that they have no choice but to spend money on the game to get Jean Grey to tier 4 so they can compete in PvP. It's crazy, right? Maybe I'm reaching, okay? Maybe Jean Grey comes in and she's the worst tier 4 ever and she changes nothing. But the likelihood of that happening is just as likely as me getting struck by lightning 15 times while I'm recording this video in this very moment of me saying I'm gonna be struck by lightning. So pretty much it's not gonna happen, okay? Jean Grey is definitely gonna shake some shit up in PvP. And for all of you guys who are hoping that she's gonna be great for PvE and PvP, be careful what you wish for because you just might get it. Think about it. I wanted a tier 4 Magneto. That was gonna run you 6,600 crystals to pick him up. That's gonna actually bring value to ABX and ABL. Sorry, more specifically ABL, right? Netmarble is thinking 2 steps ahead of me. Like they're literally 2 years on the timeline for tier 4 Jean Grey, in my opinion. They're like, all right, cool. Beast is talking about tier 4 Magneto. Forget that. I want Marvel Future Fighters to buy a useless character, Magneto. Pains me to say that, right? So 6,000 crystals on Magneto, and then I want them to finish an epic quest because they love epic quests, right? So let them go finish an old epic quest because there's probably a bunch of new players that have never finished that quest because Jean Grey hasn't been relevant for a while and neither has Magneto. So let's get that new money, right? Let's get them a useless Magneto, and then let's go have them burn a bunch of resources finishing that epic quest to get Jean Grey, and then make sure we give them an expensive uniform. By the way, Jean Grey's uniform is like Thanos cost. So it's one of the most expensive uniforms in the game. Second only to those seasonal uniforms that don't get discounted. So keep that in mind. And then they have to tier 3 her, double cost, no problem. And then they have to go ahead and tier 4 her, double cost. You were complaining about not getting enough carbonadium? Oh man, I feel bad for you guys, bro. Now I know some of you guys are gonna call me a hater, but understand this. This is a person voicing their opinion and their grievances with this game, even though they have the means, meaning I have the money to literally buy what I want and say nothing. I literally, if I want to, I can tier 4 every character as soon as they come out. I can just spend the money and say nothing. But I just don't like what they're doing here. I don't like it at all. So me being me, I have to say my piece. I don't think this is a good look. I think the tier 4 system should include more tier 1 native characters before they start incorporating tier 2 and tier 3 native. Because what's stopping them from giving Sentry a tier 4 3 months from now? Whole lot of nothing. Whole lot of nothing, that's what. Anyways, man, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Leave me your thoughts in the comments. Am I going crazy or am I going crazy? Netmarble just really dropped tier 4 Jean Grey, and I see free-to-play players celebrating this. I can't believe it, bro. VIP 0, they have like 1 tier 4, if that. They're complaining on the forums every other day about not having enough materials, but they're celebrating the rise of Jean Grey once more. Them the same ones in 2 weeks gonna be mad as hell when all the whales flash their big credit cards, cop of tier 4 Jean Grey, and they can't win no more fights in PvP, and they don't have the money to go buy a tier 4 Jean Grey. So they come on the forums, the same ones, having their joy, their jubilation turn into depression and sadness. It's a cycle, man. When it comes to these mutant updates, that's how it starts. Excitement, joy, and ultimately disappointment.